So we're going to talk about isolation mode and locking layers. So this is for basically adding color to your line design or any design that you have where you have this like outline design and you want to add specific color in a certain area. This is not like the paint on your computer where the program knows where you want to use the paint bucket. So let's say like in this area right here, you wanted to create this in green. You can't simply just take a paint bucket and dump it in there because the program is more sophisticated than that and isn't recognizing this as an individual shape, okay? It sees this as a shape, this as a line, this as a path, and this as a line, okay? So we could join them together, but it's a lot easier sometimes to use what's known as isolation mode, which I'll show you in a second, that looks like tracing, or locking layers. So what I'm first going to do is go to my layers panel, and I have a lot of layers going on here, so ignore this. So this is my blue layer, okay? So if I'm on this layer, I want to create, I'm going to do locking layers first. I want to lock this entire layer. So I'm simply going to come over here, toggle this lock, and now this layer is locked. And you'll notice I can't do anything here because the layer is locked. So what I'm going to do first is create a new layer, and it can be on top, but I like to move it to the bottom because it's going to be underneath my outlined area anyways, so I want to make sure it's below. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to come in here and use my pen tool. I'm simply going to trace over this design in this area. And if you're nervous about using the convert to anchor tool, don't be, because the more you work with it, the easier it is. Okay, and as you can see right here in the blue, it is outlined there. So, it is black right now, but it's underneath this layer. That means I need to unlock my top layer. Okay. And it shows that my circle is in white, so I want my circle to be nothing, okay? And now you can see that this is a black area as it shows here. So I'm going to change it to green like I talked about, okay? So there you go, that's how I filled or colored in that area. Now, I'm just going to go back to layers real quick. If this was above this layer, how it originally was, you'll notice that my outline is behind my fill. So again, simply just take your new layer that you made, drag it below the layer you want, and then it looks like you filled in that colored area. Now the other thing we can do is enter isolation mode. So let's say I'm going to fill in this area over here. I'm simply going to make a new layer, okay, that's layer 5, and on the new layer I'm going to come up here to my options, go to enter isolation mode, and it creates this like haze over top. So that's the isolation mode, it's like tracing paper. And now again, I can use my pen tool, and I'm simply going to just trace over this. Now, you can see it still has a fill of green, and I can get rid of that if I need to. And come back, join it, use my convert anchor tool right here to change up this. Okay, this is what I'm talking about when I don't want to fill. Use my selection tool to adjust. Okay, and now I can fill it in with green. And then we can remove ourselves either by pushing this arrow up here, or you can come back over to the options and say exit isolation mode. I'm just going to push the layer up here. Okay, and now you'll notice it's filled in with green. So those are just different ways that you can lock layers or use isolation mode to fill in certain areas without having to recreate your design altogether.